Crowd for opening week. See you all for opening week, kicking off on May 11th. Go Woodies!
What the heck was that?
There goes Chuck from Naughty Dog again, so pumped about the awesome things at Naughty Dog, he runs around town screaming with excitement. Naughty Dog releases 2 to 3 beers every month, has food trucks every Friday and Saturday, wine specials every Wednesday, plenty of indoor and outdoor space to enjoy, beers to go with curbside pickup, and just launched the new Koozie Club. Be sure to ask about that on your next visit. Naughty Dog Brewing Company on Main Street in downtown Winterville, and be sure to follow Naughty Dog on Facebook and Instagram.
At US Cellular, we see our customers as more than just customers. They're neighbors. When you switch to US Cellular, you can get the new Samsung Galaxy S21 5G for free with no hidden requirements. As a neighbor, you deserve it. US Cellular, America's locally grown wireless. Terms apply. See uscellular.com for details.
Does the idea of going to your local U.S. Cellular store make you feel a bit uncomfortable? Tired of the hassle of waiting and wearing a mask? Let Toby Williams and his outside sales team take away that worry. They will come right to your home or office and drop your phone off on the porch or at the front desk for you. Saving you time and worry is what the team at Cellular Warehouse is all about. Call Toby today at 252-799-7051 and let them help you with all of your wireless needs. Cellular Warehouse, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent.
Warren's Hot Dog Pizza, homemade lemonade.
Hey, Pirate Nation, Warren's Hot Dogs, 2 locations are open for business in Greenville and Chocowinity. Both locations have drive-through windows, so stop by today for hot dogs, pizzas, subs, apple and peach turnovers, homemade lemonade, and breakfast in Chocowinity, featuring homemade cheese, ham, and chicken biscuits, plus sausage dogs and more. Warren's in Greenville, across from Ron Ayers Motorsports, and in Chocowinity next to the fire department. Warren's Hot Dogs. Want some? Get some.
University PC Care has been the Pirate Nation's go-to IT expert since 2006. They thank you for your continued support and trust during these trying times. Many services can be done remotely and free pickup and delivery is available. As a Dell business partner and Apple authorized service provider, you can count on University PC Care for all your personal and business tech support needs. To make a remote appointment or to bring in your device for service at their Greenville or New Bern locations, call 558-1280 or go online at universitypccare.com.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. This is Eastern North Carolina's longest-running sports radio call-in show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show on Pirate Radio is brought to you by
Bostic Sugg Furniture, East Coast Grading, Angus Grill, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Seared Chop House, Taft and Hagler, and by Tiebreakers.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
Okay, good evening, everyone, or good afternoon. I'm not even sure what time it is. Donnie Kirkpatrick is in the house with us today, and if there's ever a Hall of Fame for Brian Bailey Show guests, Donnie Kirkpatrick, he would be in it for sure. He's with us today, the offensive coordinator for East Carolina. And, Coach, when you look at the world today, we're moving closer and closer to getting back to normal, aren't we?
You know, it feels like it. We're come in here. Y'all put a lot of money into this thing. Things must be good in the radio business.
I wrote a check for him. You got all these?
No, just kidding. We got psychedelic colors here. We got new lighting here. I hope that makes us look a little better. But it's a nice spring weather day out there. We had a good spring practice. Took about 6 weeks to get it in, but that wasn't too good. But we got it in, and so we're all feeling pretty good right now.
How hard was it when you guys had to shut down? Because obviously you don't want to shut down. And Coach Houston said it a couple of times that we had to go back a little bit to go forward again. But still, I mean, you were able to get it all in. That was the positive. But you did take a little step back, didn't you?
Yeah, we got 5 days in, and the first couple of days you're pretty rusty anyhow, and you're installing a lot of things, and you're just trying to get a lot of teaching done. And about the 5th practice, we'd gone in the stadium on a day, and we'd really gotten after it. It was a good practice, and I think the first 4, you're just looking at all the negatives. And that 5th day, we're kind of in the locker room as the coaches, and we're saying, all right, starting to look like a football team, and we're starting to get a little bit excited. Then you take like 10, 12 days off. You have to start over. You know, you don't pick that right back up. But I do think we got there before it was over. But you know, the pause was something we dealt with in the fall, and it's just something, I guess, it's part of the real world now today. And who knows? I don't know if we're getting all that behind us, but it's a lot less than it was, obviously, in the fall.
You know, you were here, you know, for all those years before, and then you go up to James Madison, you come back. What did you inherit when you came back? Because, you know, it's kind of one of those weird deals. If you buy a house, you live in it for 8 years, then you move out for 3, and you come back to the house. But what was it like?
Well, it was, I don't know. I don't want to be negative. It wasn't good.
Right.
It wasn't good. It looked a little bit like nobody cut the grass or nobody kept the place up when you got back to that house. And, you know, so, but we're getting all that turned. I tell you what, the administration that we have now from top to bottom is the difference, and they are very committed. You know, I just can't say enough good about the new chancellor. Even the interim chancellor was so phenomenal.
Yeah, very good.
Our new athletic director, his entire staff, not just him, they are so much for us right now. And, you know, East Carolina is just a phenomenal place. Obviously, I'm a Pirate through and through, and just couldn't be happier, you know, to have gotten a chance to come back. But as with any university, in any athletic department, you know, it's got its good, it's got its bad, and it's got some issues. And for some reason, East Carolina's always fought against itself a little bit, and we've always kind of gotten in our own way. And really right now, the big positive thing is I think everybody's rowing the same way. Everybody's going in the right direction. Everybody wants to get this thing turned back around and bigger and better things, and there's just a lot of positives right now.
You know, and it's so much easier said than done when you say everybody's rolling in the same direction, because we all, you know, when we've been around it for a while, you know, you see infighting here or this, and somebody pushing against this and doesn't want to do this. But if you get everybody, and attitude means a whole lot to that, doesn't it?
Well, it does. It's just like, you know, with a football team in there, if you've got a bond and your team is close and they're pulling for each other and they're pushing each other to get better, obviously, I mean, it is obvious that you're going to have the chance to play at your best. And when a university is all on the same page, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it really does. Donnie Kirkpatrick live in the studio with us. We'll take your questions and comments on our Facebook Live page, so if you want to jot those down, we'll get those to Coach K coming up in just a bit. We'll take a first time out. Back with more after this.
First came the PCC location, then came the ECU location on Jarvis Street. Now introducing the newest store at 10th Street at the Food Line near Walmart. It's Angus Grill 3. 3 restaurants featuring all of your favorite burgers and more. They've got your classic Angus, steak burger, brisket burger, black and blue burger, sweet sriracha burger, jalapeno popper burger. You get the idea. Now with 3 options for the best burger in town. Angus Grill at PCC, Angus Grill at ECU, and now Angus Grill at 10th Street in the Food Line Shopping Center. It's Greenville's best burger, times 3.
There's no better time to drive away with a quality pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Greenville Auto World. Greenville Auto World is your authorized rough country dealer. We specialize in lift and leveling kits along with custom wheel packages. Whether you're looking for ground clearance or enhancing the appearance of your vehicle, trust our team for your off-road experience. Greenville Auto World, 3840 South Charles Boulevard across from Hardee's at Bell's Fork, or online at greenvilleautoworld.net.
If you wake up in the morning with a backache, feeling more tired than you did when you went to bed, you probably need a new mattress. And the best place to get that mattress is Factory Mattress. Hi, I'm Kirk Smith, General Manager. For more than 40 years, Factory Mattress has been Greenville and Wilson's local mattress dealer. We guarantee the lowest price on the area's best selection with over 50 models to choose from. No seconds or overruns. Factory Mattress offers only first quality direct from the manufacturer. Sealy Posturepedic, Beauty Rest, Stearns & Foster, and Tempur-Pedic. The most highly trained sales associates with over 60 years of combined experience. Same as cash financing with 0 interest up to 48 months and free local delivery. Face it, to have a good day, you've got to have a good night. So sleep better knowing you saved money at Factory Mattress, locally owned on Greenville Boulevard in Greenville, on Forest Hills Road in Wilson, on the web at factorymattressusa.com, and a proud member of Pirates Supporting Pirates.
In studio today with Dr. Shondell Jones from Kinetic Physical Therapy. Dr. Jones, you guys can help people with any aches or pains.
Yep, we sure can. As it's getting warmer, we know more people are outside, wanting to be more active, and we know spring sports are in play as well. And so if you've got a knee or ankle injury, whether it's just a strain or a sprain, we've got specialists there to treat the weekend warrior and the athlete. For more information, visit us online at kptonline.com or call us at 364-2806.
If you are push mowing your yard using an inefficient lawn tractor or your current zero-turn spends more time in the shop than mowing your grass, it's time you look at a Hustler zero-turn lawnmower. Residential mowers from Hustler are built like tanks and drive like sports cars. All Hustler mowers have fabricated, welded steel decks. Don't settle on cheap units with flimsy stamped decks from big box stores. Come see Ron Ayers Motorsports. It will guide you to the right mower for your property and your budget. Find us at Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11, north of the airport in Greenville.
This is former ECU baseball player and mayor of Greenville, PJ Connolly, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back on this Monday. Donnie Kirkpatrick, offensive coordinator from East Carolina, live in the studio, taking your questions and comments on our Facebook Live page. Curtis Thieman's writing in, checking in. He does a great job with the entrance video. So when you guys go to the games and you see that entrance video, he's down in Wilmington at his shop down there. His production company does a great job. So we appreciate him watching, and want to give a shout out to him because that entrance video is one of the best around. And Brian Meador works with him to try to get that thing organized and get it worked out. But we're looking forward to that again coming up in 2021 because that's one of the things really we had a chance to see it, but a lot of fans didn't because of the pandemic, not being able to go to the games. I think it was on YouTube and stuff like that. But that's the type of thing that is part of a football team, and they get ready to enter the field, and all the kids like it, don't they?
They do. I mean, the fans love it, but the players, I think they love it just as much. And I think as coaches, we sneak a pretty good view of it in there too. That's again, Pirates. It's the best mascot. You know what I'm saying? We got such a good deal, and I think that's why everybody's really so excited about next season. Oh yeah, we want to win every game, and is that possible? I don't know. I hope so. We're going to try to do that, but I know everybody's fired up about getting back to Dowdy-Ficklin being Dowdy-Ficklin and Greenville being Greenville, and just the atmosphere and just the tailgating and, like you say, the intro to the field, because that is what college athletics is all about.
Yeah, it really. And the Saturdays that guys go out and start tailgating early in the day. If you have a 7 o'clock game, they've been out there for 8 hours or so. But it's just one of those things that Saturdays last fall they just weren't the same, because when you get up on a Saturday morning in Greenville for a home game, you see guys running around trucks and cars with flags flying all over the place, and just all the interests and everything that goes. Whether you're a winning program or a losing program at East Carolina, you still get a lot of that. Now, obviously, you get more of it when you're winning. Yeah. But I mean, still, there's a great group of supporters that come out, win or lose, and just to get that. I think there's a lot of people. I think there's still some questions about the vaccine and all that stuff, but I still think there's a lot of people that just can't wait to get to do something as far as that goes, because it's really been, take us back to March and personally for you. I mean, when you first started some of this, did you have the thought that, okay, in a couple of weeks we'll be back to normal?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we all did.
We had, spring break, and so we were coming back in from spring break, and I guess it was around that time, and that told me we're going to have to go work from home. And I remember Coach Houston saying, now this is a little more serious than everybody thinks it is. He said, we literally could be home for a week or two. And we were like, the whole week. The whole week. And he's like, well, I'm telling you, it could be 2 weeks. And we were like, good God, 2 weeks? We're going to put this on pause for 2 weeks? No way. No way that's happening.
Right.
This is the United States of America. This is, whatever. Here it is. I don't even know what year it is anymore, but there's no way. 2 whole weeks we're not going to be in this office? Nah. Well, we'd trade that in now.
In a heartbeat, brother.
We would trade that back in. But again, that's behind us. People right now, what they need to be doing is getting those season tickets. Right. They need to be getting those things sold. They need to be getting those parking spaces out there for the tailgating. And because this fall, it's going to be the best year it's ever been.
How much different was it for you on game day? Because it was, you guys, and Coach Houston's done a good job of getting the walk, the guys walk, and with all the crowd around them tailgating and cheering and everything. And a lot of people leave their tailgate spots to come and be a part of that. Obviously, there wasn't much of that going on. There wasn't, when you run onto the field. Every game that I went to all of them, they all just felt like scrimmages. They felt like advanced scrimmages, maybe.
I think that's exactly the feeling that we had probably as a coaching staff. I know first game, Central Florida, you come pulling into the stadium, and it really felt like just coming in for a Saturday morning, go to work, going to have a scrimmage. So there's excitement in there. You're competing. You've got that going on. You've got a little nervous feeling. But there was no traffic. There was just none of that. No police escort. Just all the things that build up to the game. And then we're sitting in the press box before the game and like almost pinching ourselves. Okay, are we really playing a real game? Because it really did feel like a spring scrimmage, maybe like a little bit like the spring game.
Yeah, it was just one of those deals that you looked around and you saw little patches of crowds. Well, at first you didn't see any crowd, and then little patches later in the season. But it just didn't seem like it was football season at all. And hopefully those days are behind us. But it just had to be different as a coaching staff and as a with everything that went into the tower, and then not to have anybody in the tower. Right after that. So it was completely different. We've got you on our Facebook Live page. If you have a question or comment for Coach Donnie Kirkpatrick, you can get those into us. The spring football game, that was a little bit of an odd deal because at first there wasn't going to be a spring football game, and then I think the terminology was different. Spring scrimmage, spring game. I think Coach Houston and the players really wanted to have a spring game, didn't they?
Well, they did, because again, I think everybody's just starving for that atmosphere, that excitement. I remember the days here in Greenville when the pig out was going on. They're cooking the barbecue. There's rides out there. There's the bouncy houses out there. I know then they've got the Pirate Fest going down, downtown now some. So there's just a lot of excitement in the spring. Bands were out there playing the whole bit. I remember back, and I think everybody's just starving to get back to that again. So obviously we're going to have scrimmages, and they had already planned to have some of the alumni back. We had a little golf outing. You're always trying to rally the troops a little bit. And so that kind of went off as planned. I guess they kind of held the crowd a little bit away from that. We had a really nice little gathering, though, over there. And it was open to the public. So though we could not go and speak with recruits or do any of those type things, there were recruits that decided to come and watch the practices just on their own and, kind of tour the facilities a little bit on their own. So that was kind of going on. And I think it went so well that Saturday, and everybody was just really loving having some people in there. And the players were just, man, they got after it that day. We had a great scrimmage, one of the best scrimmages I think we've had in my 30-some years. And the kids were just loving it. It's one of those deals where normally, in spring ball especially, by the end of the practice, everybody's ready to go in and get the rest of the Saturday. Our kids really, I think they just wanted to stay out there and keep practicing. They were just loving it, and the coaches were just loving it. Everybody was so into it. So I don't know, you media guys get over there. Coach Houston, he's a pretty rah-rah guy now. I don't know, y'all got him jacked up a little bit, and I think he just said, you know what? This is so good. We need to do this again. We're going to have a spring game. And he used that phrase. And I think the administration might have freaked a little bit on that. And the next thing you know, we just start kind of putting, well, okay. Well, the players, they're watching ESPN every night. And, here's Alabama, here's Ohio State. And they're having drafts, and they're dividing their team up, and they're having true spring games. And so some of the guys, some of the more leader type guys on the team, I think, started approaching Coach with that idea. And I just think the excitement that they had wanting to go and play. Plus, I think, we go offense, defense so much in everything we do. I think some of the guys were just kind of tired of going against each other, and they wanted to go against somebody else a little bit. So somehow they talked Coach into kind of putting a draft together. It had some restrictions. Man, did the players have a blast. I don't know. Coaches probably thought it was a little bit of a pain in the rear, a little bit to have to go through all that. You worry then it's late. You don't want to get anybody hurt, that way, but you don't want to finish up on a negative. But I tell you what, that's the most enthusiasm I've ever seen around a spring practice.
Wow. And the scrimmage you're talking about is the one that late in the scrimmage is when Holton got picked off near the end zone.
No, we're not talking about that anymore.
Coach Houston said that you didn't speak to him for a week because of that.
Well, he kind of ruined my deal there. We were having a great day. The audience was too, and so we couldn't leave good enough alone. Truth of the matter is, he had actually asked me, do you want to do a 2-minute drill? And we had just done a 2-minute drill on Thursday in the practice. Or you want to how about I back you up and put you on the 1-inch line? And, you get a little too cocky.
He didn't even put you on the 1-inch line. I think he put you inside the goal. That ball was so much.
I think it actually might have been a safety before the ball was snapped.
Before it was snapped, it was a safety. Yeah.
And so then we jump off sides a couple of times. And Big John's got Papa Roach or somebody down there playing so loud you couldn't hear. So, we really were preparing in case we play LSU down in Death Valley or something there. Anyhow, but it was a good experience, and Holton did kind of ruin my weekend there a little bit with that last throw. Actually, it was Shane Calhoun who blew the block. But anyhow, that was the spring scrimmage that we had so much fun. And then I guess the other one is now
the spring game.
Yeah. So great enthusiasm though too. We got some terrific kids. I'm telling you what, when we first came back, I was jokingly, I'll probably get a lot of hate mail about the comment about the house not being kept up, but we really did not seem like we loved football. And, East Carolina's a place where the kids are always a little bit of the overachiever. They've got a little chip on their shoulder. They got the blue-collar mentality that I'm going to prove to you that I'm better. I've been overlooked a little bit. Kids that loved football. That was the one thing. Now, they loved football. And the team right now is that way again. These kids like coming to work. They like practicing. They love playing football.
Yeah, and that's a huge difference in the psychology of the game, and it comes in with recruiting, and you almost have to see that in a recruit. And I think it was Coach Logan used to always say, we want pirates that want to be pirates, and you're basically saying the same thing. We want football players that want to be football, that have fun playing the game, because if you don't have fun out there, and it is a lot of work. Now you get in the summer grind, you get into August, man, that's a lot of work. But the payday, the carrot at the end of the stick is those glorious Saturdays and playing in front of the big crowd, which they didn't get last year. So I think everybody's going to appreciate it even more coming up this year.
Yeah, and we say it's like the iceberg theory. The big block of ice, you see what's above the water, but there's so much more below. The real danger and all the real ice is down below the water. Football, you see the 12 Saturdays a year where the band's playing and the cheerleaders are leading everybody out and the crowd's all into it. There's so many other days in football. The practices, what are they, 10 times as many times as you play, maybe more than that. So many days in the weight room, so many days running sprints and 300s, and just all the work that goes in to getting ready for 12 Saturdays. So if you don't have a deep love for this game, a deep commitment, you're never going to be able to reach your potential. And if you don't get close enough, at least to your potential, you're not going to be able to be successful. And we play a tough schedule. We always bite off a bunch. Now, with Pirates, man, we take on anybody, anywhere, at any time. So we're going to play a tough schedule, and our league has really gotten outstanding. I think you see in the NFL draft,
right?
We had 3 less than the Big 12 drafted, and really probably should have had some more that got overlooked a little bit because the people don't recognize the league yet, but a really, really good league. So you better get some guys that love football.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the league. Mike Oresco, and we talk about this about every show when I have a coach on, but he's done a good job of trying to get this league above the Group of 5, and they're very much above the Group of 5. Yeah. But trying to get them in the Power 5, it's just they came up with the Power 6 moniker, but the American is really a good football league.
It really is, and I think every year it's starting to prove that. With the bowl games, you see, Cincinnati going against University of Georgia, though they didn't actually end up winning that game. I think everybody who watched that game felt like they were probably really the better team in that game, and they probably should have won that game. So our league's done well. They've done well, I think, in the non-conference schedule, and the commissioner's doing a good job of trying to make people aware of that.
All right, Donnie Kirkpatrick live in the studio with us. We'll take a timeout right now. We'll come back with more with Coach K for you coming up after this.
Hi, Hi, this is Jeff Charles, and this is a Pirate Radio Sports Break presented by Ron Ayers Motorsports, north of the airport on Highway 11 in Greenville. The Pirates dropped the finale of a 4-game series at Wichita yesterday, losing to the Shockers 11-9. ECU hosts Tulane in a showdown of the top 2 teams in the American this weekend in another 4-game series. Tulane is in first place at 13-2. The Pirates are in second place at 12-4. The Pirates are 30-9 overall. The Orioles lost to the A's 7-5. The Yankees shut out the Tigers 2-0. Corey Kluber knocked his 100th career victory. The Nationals got by the Marlins 3-1. Max Scherzer threw a 5-hit complete game. The Braves lost to the Blue Jays 7-2. Eastern North Carolina's Bam Adebayo and the Miami Heat invaded Charlotte and beat the Hornets 121-111. Bam had 20 points and 10 rebounds. The Hurricanes host the Blackhawks tonight at 7. Carolina is in first place in the Central Division, 2 points ahead of Tampa Bay. This has been a Pirate Radio Sports Break.
Chico's Mexican Restaurant is the home of the best margaritas. Grab your amigos and head to Chico's every Tuesday for the Gulf of Mexico. A huge 46-ounce lime margarita for only $6.99. On Thursdays, relax and enjoy half-price pitchers of Chico's house margaritas. Choose from lime, strawberry, blood orange, raspberry, or peach.
For Mexican food and fun, it's got to be Chico's in downtown Greenville, and now available through DoorDash, featuring a half-gallon of the famous margarita mix to go for only $9.99. Chico's, where the fiesta never ends.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 8 to 10 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by GolfKnickers.com, the world's leader in traditional golf apparel. Hosts Mark Greenhelge and Nat Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop.
Looking for a professional to take care of your commercial properties or personal yard? Gatlinburg Lawns is here for you because customer service is number one. Gatlinburg Lawns specializes in commercial and residential landscaping design, mulch, hedging, sod installation, pine straw, tree planting, and much more. If you need landscaping help, call Gatlinburg Lawns today for a free quote. 919-647-6193.
Gatlinburg Lawns, we make it pretty.
With rates being historically low, now is the best time to buy or refinance your home. This is Talbot Green with Angel Oak Home Loans. Now is the time to take advantage of the opportunity to buy more home or refinance your current mortgage. The combination of our local team's experience and Angel Oak's wide offerings of products from standard conventional, government, and portfolio loans has something for most financial situations. For more information, call Talbot Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250 and 685-842. Equal housing lender.
This is Tim Doust, ECU football special teams coordinator, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back to the show. Donnie Kirkpatrick live in the studio, taking your questions and comments on our Facebook Live page. We've got one coming in saying, wanting to know the biggest difference in the play calling from 2020 to 2021. What's going to be the biggest difference in Donnie K's playbook coming up this year?
Could have called more touchdowns this year.
You got that figured out. Which page you found which page of touchdowns come on.
It took a couple years to find that thing.
That happens.
We had it rolling up there, James Madison. Somehow the movers lost it or something there. We pulled that one back out. Now we're going to go back and start averaging about 40-some a game. But, I think probably the one thing offensively we concentrated on this spring was going back to working on the passing game a little bit. Coming in, we had to fix this run game here. We just didn't feel like we were ever going to be good enough to win until we could run the ball a little bit better. And, defensively, that's going to help us. Team-wise, it's going to help us. And then it's going to take a little pressure off Holton, so that he doesn't have to be the only thing out there. And I really think the run game improved. And then I felt a little bit low, our drop-back passing game suffered a little bit. And, that's the hard part. It's hard to be really good at everything. Sometimes it's just hard to be really even. It's good enough to throw it, good enough to run it. So this spring, our depth at running back was a little bit down. We had Keaton and we had Raji, and we didn't really want to get them too beat up. So we really took the time to concentrate on, now let's get the passing game back worked out to even better than I thought it was the first year, and we really did a good job of that this spring. So now the key getting back to next season is being able to run it and throw it like that equally as well. But we got to throw it a little bit better than we did last year on third down, because that we suffer. We're usually really good on third down, and we weren't as good on third down last year. So more big plays is what we're looking for. That's the other thing too. Need to stretch the ball down the field a little bit more. We need some playmakers to step up and get some of those home runs for us.
You know, everybody I talk to says, tell Donnie to keep the SMU playbook handy.
Yeah, that was a good one. That one, you know, if it was only that easy, you know, sometimes the players just run them better, I guess. Sometimes maybe the defense cooperates a little bit better. But we sure did play well that day. It was hard. That first half's about as good a half of offensive football as a team could play. And so I do think we've been saying that. We're getting the talent. We're getting the ability to do that. We got to find the consistency level that we have sometimes, you know, obviously in some games, and we got to keep that momentum going.
Yeah, what were you thinking about in the booth with that stuff going on? Because I looked around twice during the first half to make sure that I wasn't still in bed dreaming, and this is how it was going to play out, because it just seemed like the hot knife through butter type thing. I mean everything you guys did, it worked to perfection. I mean, you go down, score. I mean, it was crazy.
You know, I really wasn't. And then, truthfully, I really wasn't even thinking about that, because you're just kind of so into what you're doing in the game and what's the next call and what did they just do, and that you don't really even realize, I guess, the success or the not success that's going on. Later, some of the players, Cade Norman, who, you know, was our backup quarterback.
Cade, one of my favorites.
And Holton's a great friend and their signaler. And then he was like saying on the sideline, he said, I was just going like, oh my God, it's the greatest senior day ever. You know, just don't wake up. And I was like, I wasn't in that mode. I was just kind of thinking like, all right, what's the next play? You know, we're trying to set something up. You know, where do you go here next? And then, you know, right at the half, you kind of look up and realize, wow, we put a lot of points up here. So now you got to go in and somehow convince the team, okay, it's not over. You know, let's don't let up. Let's keep pedal to the metal. It's almost impossible to do that. And we did find a way to kind of screw it up a little bit in the second half with a couple of turnovers that we shouldn't have. But in the end, we came back pretty strong.
Yeah, I would say that's got to be really, really difficult, because once you get to that point, everything's going so great, then you got to turn it back on, and in the back of your mind, you're thinking, not that you've won the game, but you kind of say, like, hey, you know, we've got, if we don't really screw this thing up, we got a really good chance of winning.
Well, you do, and that's always the debate. You hate that there's a half. Those are the games you go like, okay, let's just don't have a halftime. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep playing, because there is a point in there you discuss, you know, with the head coach or whoever. The only way we can lose the game is to now give them the ball back enough times to catch up. And if we just play smart, they won't have enough time. At the same time, you hate to back off. So there's that balance between that. And I don't know, somewhere in there, we did have a little bit of a tough little stretch there. They began to move the ball because they're a great offensive team and their defense was playing lights out. But, you know, eventually they're going to start to get some plays. And but then we kind of came back, and I mean, really, that's when Blake Prohl kind of took over. They were so far behind; they were having to pressure us, which put them into man coverage. And then Holton, you know, had the skill and then the knowledge to see Blake out there one-on-one. He went to Blake. Blake had a couple of big, huge plays that kind of iced the game.
All right, coming up in 2021, are you guys going to huddle each play? Is that something we just saw in the spring? Is that something we will see in the fall?
We won't huddle every play. No, we did start to work on getting back into the huddle a little bit, going back to the wristband with some plays and some different things. You know, there's a couple of reasons for that. One reason is, I tell you what, the art of signal stealing right now is at an all-time high. And I think you see some of the effects from baseball. You know, you saw that with the Astros and all the different things going on. And there's a lot of that going on right now, where people, because every game is on TV, and the cameras are on the signal people and every team, we do it too. Your GAs, you have analysts, you have student helpers, that their job is to come in and just watch all the TV games and then start to just try to decode the signals. And you're on TV enough now that it's getting to where they can do it. So, you're looking for different ways to get plays in to not let the team do it. The other thing is, I think defenses catch up with what offenses are doing well. So the no huddle, the fast paced, up tempo offense is great, but it's kind of like a pitcher that just throws. Okay, he goes out there and he throws it 100 miles an hour, and that's all he's got, though. When you play good people, those good hitters will sit on that fastball. They'll start hitting that ball out 120, 140. You got to change the tempo, I think, now to keep them off balance. So that's one of the things we're looking at doing is using the huddle to keep the sign ceiling down, and then to be able to change the tempo so that the fast tempo will now be more effective again.
Yeah, and it's really fascinating that the evolution of offense and information at the line of scrimmage, because it used to be, back in the day, guys huddle up, we're going to run X, Y, 27 on 2, break, we go to the line of scrimmage, maybe you get an audible, maybe you don't, you run the play. But now, and even high school teams do so much of that at the line of scrimmage, and they're barking out signal, then everybody stops and looks over at the coach. And it's really it's fascinating that teams don't jump more than they do.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of information going on.
Well, there is, and it's getting to the point to where it's too much, and it's getting to the point where everybody can't comprehend it anymore, and so getting back in the huddle actually is starting to come back a little bit in college football. I think you saw Notre Dame do that to Clemson last year, and had success doing that, and I think whatever works, it's a copycat league, just like anything is. If a good movie's out, there's going to be a sequel, or somebody's going to copy the idea and run with it. And in football, if something's working, offensively, defensively, kicking, or whatever, then everybody's going to be looking at that because you have access now to everybody's games.
What does all that mean when those big cards that have this weird pictures? You have a picture of Tony the Tiger, and you'll have a picture of a race car, and then, how's all that work?
What the truth of the bigger the display, the more decoy it usually is. So when you see all the big signage and all that stuff, that really is probably the dummy calls. That's the decoys to make people think, oh, I got to try to decode that, what all that is. And meanwhile, the other signal's touching their nose over here or something. Somebody's doing that. They're getting you to look like the magician. You're watching the right hand, the left hand's picking your pocket.
Wow. Some of that's just, and it does get crazy. These big cards and everybody, and then you got the signals. Caden Norman was an expert at the signals. I remember when Coach Houston first came down, Caden was like, "Well, can we do this side?" He was like, "No, we're not going to do that one."
Well, we get in the quarterback meetings. Is how do these signals come up? And generally, the quarterbacks come up with, well, this is. When you say that word, like, okay, you have a play called river, and okay, now what? You play charades, what makes everybody think of river. So normally it's better for the kids to come up with it because, we'll pick something, they'll be like, what are you talking about? And they've never heard of that or something, you know what I'm saying? So we let the players do it. Sometimes the players at their age are not, mature enough to maybe pick something that wouldn't be very good. That your mother or your daughter or we're on TV would see that signal. Yeah. So we do have to veto a few of those.
I bet you do. All right, before we continue on with the 2021 Pirates, let's go back and talk about Blake Prohl a little bit. Dante Smith. Dante, first of all, he went in the draft to the Bengals, and at least on paper, looks like a pretty good landing spot.
I thought it was a great pick for Cincinnati. I thought it was a great pick for Dante too. We're so excited for him. Had a tough year last year. Only played one game and didn't even get a chance to finish that. But a talented young man that I think is going to represent the East Carolina nation really, really well.
And Blake Prohl was not drafted. He took kind of a gamble in going into the draft, but with his dad Ricky and the connections they have in the NFL, he landed with the Vikings, and that looks like a pretty good spot too.
I think the key is if you don't really go in the first couple of rounds, it's really important that you get a chance to maybe pick where you will fit the best and you will have the best opportunity. It really then kind of turns back into recruiting a little bit like the way the college game is. So, I think Blake going into this deal had a good feel for what was going to happen. We were a little surprised when he decided to come out because he actually could have played 2 more years with the COVID year. Right. But we weren't expecting maybe 2 years. We were expecting 1 more year. But he had done his research. His family, they know more about the NFL than any of us did. And they knew that this is the year that he thinks he has the best chance. He was finishing on a high note. He was really hot. At the end of the year, he was one of the best receivers in the league, and so I think he wanted to strike when he was hot.
And Jake Verity had hoped to be drafted. Kickers usually aren't drafted. I didn't do the research to see how many. I think the Vikings took a punter, but Verity should get a shot somewhere this summer, don't you think?
I would think so. Jake, I know, came off a little bit of a tough year too. It was a little bit of a down year for a couple of different reasons. Sometimes, it's not all just you, whatever. But again, his people, his team thought it was the best time for him to go, and so I'm sure somebody though is going to do the research of the next couple of days and pick up him because he's a really, really good young man that has a lot of ability.
Donnie Kirkpatrick live in the studio. We'll take another commercial break. Back with more on the Brian Bailey Show on this Monday after this.
I'm Michael Vaughn with East Coast Grading and Utilities. Many of you know my dad, David Vaughn, and his work in putting in subdivisions all over Pirate Nation. But East Coast Grading and Utilities is not just for those type of big jobs. We're here for the homeowners. Whether it's concrete, driveways, hauling rock, or sand, whatever you need, East Coast Grading and Utilities can get the job done. Call us at 252-531-7494 or check us out on Facebook at East Coast Grading and Utilities.
Hi, I'm Ken Hagler of Taft and Hagler. We're proud to be sponsors of the Brian Bailey Show and the Pirate Nation on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. If you've been injured on the job or due to someone else's negligence in an automobile collision, call us at 752-2000 for a free consultation with experienced professionals who care. Go Pirates!
At Tiebreakers, we admit we have a bit of a problem. People love our wings so much that they're starting to sell their home TVs just so they can watch all the sporting events here at Tiebreakers. Seriously, we're glad you love our hand-breaded, hand-cut boneless wings that much, but we really need you to go home at the end of the night. It's okay, we'll be here tomorrow. And when you come back, bring a friend with you. For great food, great friends, and cold beer, we'll see you at Tiebreakers. Tiebreakers, break the chain, eat local.
Save during Bostic Sugg Furniture's Spring Styles event. Freshen things up, make a statement, and make it exciting. Save on new looks, new colors, new styles. We have so many beautiful ways to update your home. Explore our 35,000 square foot showroom. From name brands like Bassett, La-Z-Boy, Rowe, Kincaid, and Restonic, get up to 15% off plus 6 months special financing, or get special financing for 48 months. Step up your style right now at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
How much does the word reliable mean? Sure, all businesses describe themselves as reliable, and we certainly wouldn't expect any business to be unreliable, but when you take a word like reliable and make it your way of life, the entire core of your business, it tends to mean a little more. And it's something you have to show people, not tell them. At Delcor, we show it by being there the same day you call. We show it by simply doing outstanding work with exceptional products, a family-oriented work ethic, and genuine caring for all of our neighbors throughout Eastern NC, because in a time of need, we know the first and the only thing you need is someone you can count on. That's why we only use equipment you can count on too, like a train comfort system. It's hard to stop a train. Delcor can have a new train comfort system installed in no time, or we can provide an AC tune-up to make sure your system is performing well. So will your system keep you cool all summer? Find out. Call us. We're Delcor, the service professionals. Reliable for over 4 decades. Visit DelcorInc.com today.
You're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back on this Monday. Donnie Kirkpatrick, offensive coordinator at East Carolina, is live in the studio with us as we continue on. Let's talk about this 2021 offense. What do you like the most about it?
Well, I like the versatility, I think, of it, and the depth now that we're finally starting to develop, in that if one guy's down, I think we got other guys about as good ready to step in. So we got really good depth at receiver out there with Audie and CJ, and I think we're looking for Josiah Hatfield and Tajee Hudson, these guys to really get rolling for us a little bit. Everybody knows Tyler Snead. I don't know if there's another Tyler Snead out there or not.
Man.
Like that. But then running backs, we got Thunder and Lightning in there, I think, with Raji and Keaton. And then we're really excited about some of the other guys coming in to add some depth at running back right there. quarterback, it's a little different. You don't rotate quarterbacks. I think Holton's really, really on schedule to put it all together. He's obviously shown flashes. He's had games. Well, I think he's the best quarterback in the league. We just want to get that consistency worked out a little bit more and stay out of some of those bad games that we've had there a little bit where he tries to maybe do too much and feels like he has to go out there and win the game on his own. And then for the first time, obviously, since we've been back, we can look at the offensive line, I think, and gain some confidence, not only in do they look better. The pandemic, I think, was the toughest on linemen, maybe especially offensive linemen at all schools. We just had some guys that, because they're not eating on a training table, they just don't have a strength coach, they didn't have access to the weight room and all the different things, just lost too much weight. And in this game now, these guys are 300 plus, and if you're under 300, you're light. You're not going to be able to move some of these guys defensively. So everybody's weight's back up. Everybody seems to be good. We're starting to look like a college football team up front, and we do have some depth. The offensive line here has just gone through the most injuries and weird things. Yeah. And still this spring, Noah Henderson still wasn't out there. Fernando Fry hurt his back. We got good reports from the doctors that we think we're going to get them both back. We've added a little bit more depth, and the younger guys are getting older, so they're getting better. So I just think we got a chance to be a lot more consistent because at times we've been pretty good. We just haven't been good enough in a consistent manner, and I think this year we got a chance to do that.
Do you want to see Holton run the ball more?
I just want us to move the ball. I know a lot of people think we didn't run it as much last year. Sometimes the defenses dictate that a little bit because we don't call just a lot of quarterback runs. Most of them are, option type plays where it's a read zone or a read play to where if the defensive end overplays the running back, the quarterback keeps the ball, and that's where the runs come from. Last year, I think people think he can run. Last year, we were a pretty big bootleg game, play action pass. So people kind of sat back for the quarterback to pull the ball. Because as you look at the tape, people said something about why didn't he run it more. I was like, well, if you look at the tape, it's because somebody's playing the quarterback run. That's why Raji and Keaton are having a lot of success running the ball because somebody's playing the quarterback. They got one less guy playing the running back. So you have to kind of take sometimes what the defense gives you. But we're a better offense when he can get 5 or 6 good carries in a game. But we don't want him to run for 3 and 4 yards and, get blown up. We want him to run for 20 plus, and make big runs and then be able to get down maybe and protect himself. It's hard on a quarterback to get hit a lot and then still be an effective thrower.
He looks sleeker to me.
Well, one of the things we did after the season is we kind of came in and broke everybody's game down, and especially with Holton's game. Holton's a gym rat. He's out there throwing literally. When I left the office here to come over here, he was out on the field with a couple of receivers, and he was out there throwing. So he would throw till his arm fell off. That's great, but you can it's a little bit like a baseball pitcher. You just can't keep throwing. There are other things you need to do. So what we talked to him about in the off season was we wanted him to trim up a little bit, and we wanted him to get his quickness back. I feel like once he gets running, like you saw Temple, he breaks a draw, he goes about 60 or 70 yards. He's rolling. He's outrunning people once he gets going. I think he had lost a little bit of that first step quickness, that 0 to 60. How fast can you get there? So we went back, we worked on a lot of explosive stuff with Big John and the strength staff, leaning him out a little bit and getting him a little bit quicker and a little bit more explosive. We don't hit the quarterbacks much in spring ball, so it's a little hard to tell how effective they're running the ball. But I know all the defensive guys, player and coach, all were commenting about how much quicker he seemed in spring practice when he took off and ran with the ball.
Yeah, you think back to that Carolina game that year when he just bolted through, and he was just a flash through the Tar Heel defense.
And I think that's great, but I think then you also see why he wasn't playing against the North Carolina State, and he got hurt in the Cincinnati game. I don't know if a quarterback can continue to do that, if they keep getting hit like that. And people are going to hit your quarterback. That's a philosophy. That's a strategy. If you're going to expose the quarterback, they're going to hit him. They're going to try to hurt him. That's still the name of the game. Take the quarterback out. Right. As Al Davis said, the quarterback must go down. He must go down hard. That's going to be defensive coordinator's philosophy. So you got to be smart a little bit in that. And that I don't know he's a go run it 20 times a game type guy, and then ask him to throw for 300 yards too.
How much does he have at the line of scrimmage as far as freedom to change the play, audibles, that kind of thing?
Well, I think quite a bit. Now, our system kind of is built in that way, in that there are a lot of plays that you have the option either to hand the ball off to the running back, pull the ball and run with it, or maybe throw an RPO type deal, which is kind of the basis of the offense on first and second down. And then he really does direct the protections and a lot of those things. So he does have some ability to check off to some plays versus a blitz if the play is going to be a bad play and get us into a better play. He's really good about stuff like that. He enjoys that part of the game. He studies the game very hard, and I think he's still improving, because Tom Brady's still improving on that,
right,
because defenses keep changing and the game keeps evolving, but it is a part he really likes, and so we're probably working our way toward more and more of that every year. The biggest thing is we've got young backup quarterbacks, and it's hard to have a system where you've got one quarterback and he has all the freedom to do. Now, these guys can't do that. Well, what happens if he gets hurt? What happens if he gets positive COVID and he don't play against Navy? Boy, when you have to go dumb the offense down, for the other guy, boy, it's hard to do that. So you've got to find a balance. Even though you got one guy that's old and ready to do some things, you can't have two offenses because all the other kids can't handle two offenses.
Yeah, I was going to say, you went back to the Navy game. One of the plays I remember about the Navy game, and I thought Mason Garcia did the very best he possibly could under those situations and that game. But when Navy knew you had to run the football because you were struggling through the air, Iraje takes off with that long run. And I was sitting there watching the game and saying, okay, this is what's going to happen here. It's going to be fourth down pretty soon. You got to punt it away, and this is where you can't win the game. And boom, he goes, and that was a great run, wasn't it?
It really was. It was blocked really, really well, too. And they were bringing a lot of corner blitz, so we ran a little pin and pull play to block the corner since he was blitzing, and then Raji caught it, and then he's got the ability to make one guy miss and outrun the rest of the guys, too. So, yeah, Mason got kind of thrown in under fire there pretty quickly. Found out on Tuesday afternoon he was going to be the starting quarterback. So that's not a lot of time to prepare for that. And he did a great job of getting us a chance to win the game. What he wasn't able to do was go win that game for us at that time because we needed to be able to hit a couple of passes in the red zone that we didn't do. I think this year, though, from watching him in spring, he will be ready to step that up, I think, when next time he gets that opportunity.
What does it look like right now behind Holton?
Well, I think Mason definitely had the second best spring. He just has so much raw ability and just so much talent, so much size to be able to go and be a dominant player. But we got a good battle going on with Alex Flynn and Ryan Stubblefield right now, I think, for the third spot right there, or push Mason in the second spot. And they both bring something to the table. Alex really, really did improve. He's a manager of the game. He's really, really smart. He can get you into some checks and some things. And then Stubby, who, 5'10", kid, has got as strong arms as anybody around in the country. And Stubby kind of went and worked a little bit like Holton did, worked on his quickness and showed some ability to move around a little bit better this spring. So, smart young man that's a great competitor. So I feel good. And we don't have a lot of experience behind Holton as far as how many reps have they played in the college game, but we surely got some guys to go to, I think.
Let me have a chance to see those guys in the spring game, and I think you could tell, as you talked about earlier in the show, the enthusiasm with the spring game, and those young quarterbacks, they were fired up.
Well, they were. I know that coming off the field, a couple of the offensive coaches were like, well, that wasn't a very good day. Nobody scores a lot of points offensively in spring game.
No.
I mean, Alabama's was 13-10. I think North Carolina's was 14-12, and you see Maryland's 12. When you divide teams up, it's hard to be good on one team on offense. You get two teams, it's going to be hard to be very good. And then, Holton, who's having an outstanding day, went 15 for 17 with one ball he threw away. You're going to pull him at halftime because he's had enough.
That's right.
And then so you let those young guys play, but that's the smart coaching move, because Mason and Ryan Stubblefield and Alex Flynn and then even Walter Simmons, they needed game-like reps. The only way to do that was to get them in there. They played the whole second half, as did most of, the other second-team players. That's how you build some experience. So it was great because they were having a blast, and they've got a lot of enthusiasm because they had not played that much.
Right, who'd you have to serve after the spring game?
Well, I don't know.
You were on the losing team.
Yeah, I was actually on the losing team. Right? You always find a way to bring everything up that I don't like. I don't even know why I do this show anymore.
I just had to mention it.
Yeah, you did. But
it was
my day. You had to ruin my day.
Did you have to bring one of the coaches their meal or any of the players?
You know what? The coaches are pretty good to each other because in the end they know they probably didn't have much to do with it. Oh, if you're the winner or the loser, the players have a lot of fun with the serving and who gets to receive the serving. I guess there's some serious trash talk going on, and they're already talking it up for next year. So I'm just hoping we can get them focused on Appalachian State, not next year's spring game right now.
Yeah, back in the day, I think it was Coach Holtz that had the steak or the beanie weenies. Did he really give beanie weenies to the losing team?
I can't remember. I'm just going to go with I was always on the winning team.
There you probably were. You're one of the best coaches ever, so you probably were on the winning team. Donnie Kirkpatrick live in the studio. We'll take our final commercial break. We'll come back and we'll wrap up this edition of the Brian Bailey Show right after this.
Wait up. Papa John's has a new stuffed crust. Oh, we did it. All our tweets, DMs, and carrier pigeons worked. This ain't just stuffed crust. This is Papa John's crust. Stuffed.
Hey, Pirate fans, order the new Epic Stuffed Crust One-Topping Pizza for only $12. The new Epic Stuffed Crust Pizza is the MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
Okay, let's just try not to embarrass ourselves and everything will be fine.
Yeah, sure, totally. Is that a Pepsi Wild Cherry?
Oh, no. Please, not here. Not here.
Too late. You know something, Steve? Flavor Mania is about to run wild.
Oh, not Flavor Mania.
Pepsi Wild Cherry's about to drop a flavor suplex right into your pie hole. It's gonna hit your taste buds with a top rope elbow of flavor. It's gonna be delicious. It's gonna be refreshing. It's gonna throw your wild cherry loving brain right through the announcer's table.
Oh, I can't take you anywhere.
Flavor Mania doesn't need your permission, Steve, because the world knows that nothing is gonna get between Pepsi Wild Cherry and that flavor championship belt. Are you ready to get wild?
Oh, please don't.
Come
get
on,
wild.
Steve. I said, are you ready to get wild?
Seriously, does this always have to happen when you drink Pepsi Wild Cherry?
You better believe it, brother.
Pepsi Wild Cherry. Now available in 0 sugar. That's what I like.
Seared Chop House is Greenville's newest restaurant and the city's only true chop house. We combine a remarkable menu with an unrivaled atmosphere. Seared, a quality-driven experience highlighting a thoughtful approach to locally sourced ingredients and hearty, flavor-rich cuisine. We're firing up the grill at Seared, Greenville's only true chop house. Come see us, Fire Tower Road at Bells Fork or SearedChopHouse.com.
This is Mark Washington with Max Sports Performance at Max Fitness. Our facility has reopened and is following all safety protocols. The best thing you can do to strengthen your immune system is, of course, to work out and exercise on a regular basis. I can assist you as your performance coach. You can also enjoy the benefits of a private facility. Avoid the crowds and work out at Max Fitness. Now is the time to get healthy. Max Fitness, just off Highway 43 in the old Ace Hardware building behind Speedway in Greenville. Call me, Mark Washington, 902-4877.
If you love the food at Villa Verde, and hey, who doesn't? Now Villa Verde makes it even easier for you to order takeout. Tell us about it, Jay.
If you go to myvillaverde.com, you can order online, and we'll have it ready for you to go. Plus, you can pick it up at either one of our locations. No waiting in line to pay, and no waiting at all. Just pick it up and go. With online ordering from myvillaverde.com or from our mobile app, plus even from our Facebook page. Villa Verde, now with 2 Greenville locations to serve you. Villa Verde, a platform for good.
Pirate Radio.
It's important to me that we're able to connect the past, the tradition of East Carolina football, our current roster, and the future of what this program is going to be.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back to our show. I want to thank everyone for your questions and comments on our Facebook Live page. Of the few scholarships you have left, what positions are you targeting right now?
I think we're still trying to find that pass rusher, that defensive end type guy. Every team's looking for those guys. I don't know if any of them are available right now. If anybody knows of one, let us know. But you're always looking for that right there. I think you would never turn down another offensive lineman just because they're so rare and they're so hard to find as well. So you're always kind of keeping your ears open for that. And that's probably what we're interested in. But I would say for the most part, the team we got right now is probably the team we're going to have in the fall.
All right, June 1st, you guys get more back to normal, right?
Well, we do. The new June, because June has changed after the last couple of years with the recruiting rules. But June 1st is going to open back up in recruiting. So we're going to have 30 straight days of kids visiting. They'll be on campus, touring the place, learning about East Carolina, and working out. We'll have a lot of camps going on. So all those coaches out there and all you players, you need to come to camp. That's the way. We haven't been able to go see high school games. We weren't able to go last fall.
That's bizarre.
Obviously, they didn't play in this state. We weren't able to go hardly anywhere in out of state because of the pandemic. We didn't get to go to the spring season for the people that played there too. So it's been 2 years, and the kids didn't get a chance to come to camp last year. So we need to see you. We need to see you on campus. You need to see how we do things as well. So June's going to be an unbelievable month. We're going to be limping into July, and hopefully we'll get a few days off there around the 4th of July to celebrate that a little bit. And then before you know it, it'll be August.
Appalachian State's on the clock, and that's going to be a huge deal, playing on a Thursday night, national television in Charlotte, Bank of America Stadium. Do the guys really look forward to playing in that NFL atmosphere?
Oh, I think so. If you look last year, I think we played, in the Eagle Stadium. I guess we played in Tampa Bay. We were undefeated in the NFL stadiums, and they love it. Even though the crowd it's hard to fill those stadiums. Right. They're so big, but there's just something about walking on that ground where, you've seen on Sunday and some of the great players, and who knows, they're down there saying this was maybe Tom Brady's locker, when you're in Tampa Bay or something, even though you're not even in their home dressing room, they're saying that kind of stuff. So, yeah, they get excited about that. Appalachian, an interstate rival type game, the East meets the West or whatever. We've had some good games with them before, playing them a neutral site. Charlotte's going to be huge, kicking off the football season Thursday. We were supposed to kick it off last year in week 0. That didn't happen. So we really are probably going to be one of the first games, I guess, played this year. Our players are very excited about that. I think the fans are going to be excited. I know Appalachian, I got a master's degree from there. My wife went to school. My younger brother went to school at Appalachian. We have a lot of ties to Appalachian. I coach there. So I know a lot of people up there, they're really, really excited about getting a chance to play East Carolina in Charlotte. So I know we're going to need to be just as excited.
Man, you talked about a little bit the tough schedule, but then you come home for the home opener in South Carolina, the Gamecocks.
Yeah, we didn't think App was tough enough. We said we could go get this, go get an SEC. I've coached there too. There's a trend going on here. You see, I coached at a lot of different places. It's hard to keep a job sometimes, but we're looking forward to the Gamecocks coming. I was at South Carolina when we came here. We drew the 91 Peach Bowl team, and I remember leaving that day going, dang, those guys are pretty good now. I don't know how they're not ranked higher or something like that. I knew what the atmosphere was like. I'd always really, really admired the place and thought I'd love to come coach here from that time on. And then we were supposed to have had South Carolina play here somewhere when I was here before, and somehow they've always found a way out of it. They bought the game out. We moved it to Charlotte one time. This time we're locking the gate. We're throwing the key away.
They haven't gotten here yet.
We're not letting them go. So the contract's signed, sealed, and now we're going to deliver it with it. So I know that's going to be the home opener. Going to be the first real capacity crowd in a long time. So that's going to be wild. Yeah. We got to try not to think too much about that one because Appalachian's going to be a great challenge.
All right, Appalachian State, Thursday, September the 2nd. It'll be here before you know it in some ways. In some ways, the summer will drag on, right?
Well, I hope the summer will slow down in July a little bit. Yeah. I sure would love to see a couple waves and hit a couple golf balls.
There you go. Good. Take a little time off in July. Yeah. Come back in August with camp. And, the camp, we talk about camp so much. Do you like camp, or is it one of those things you just got to get through?
Well, it's a little bit of both, I guess, in that you do love getting a chance to see the recruits one-on-one or in groups and get a chance to get a great evaluation of them. And football's fun. The coaching part of it, there's not a lot of pressure to that type of coaching, so you're just doing the old coaching part with younger kids, trying to develop them and giving them a few tips. All that part's is pretty much fun. July, hot, humid. You know how it is here. Chance of thunderstorms every day. I can give you the forecast already right now. June will be a long month, as well with all these different camps. So it's kind of good and it's kind of bad.
All right, there you go. Donnie Kirkpatrick live in the studio with us. Thanks so much for your time today, and best of luck as the Pirates get going for the 2021 college football season. We'll see you back here next week on The Brian Bailey Show.
This has been The Brian Bailey Show, brought to you by
Bostic Sugg Furniture, East Coast Grading, Angus Grill, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Seared Chop House, Taft and Hagelin, and by Tiebreakers.
Join us next time for another edition of The Brian Bailey Show, exclusively on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 1.